To another quarterback in an injury situation here. What's your advice? Ryan Tannehill, at least he doesn't have the torn ACL, but he is out for at least the fantasy playoffs for anybody who's interested or who had him there. What's your advice there for any Dolphins offensive skill position players?
I think it's great for Jay Ajayi. I think it's great for Damian Williams, although I don't think Williams really ultimately does enough to make a difference fantasy wise. But it's not so great for fantasy owners who are relying on guys like Devante Parker, Jarvis Landry, even Kenny Stills. And Kenny Stills had a big game against Arizona on Sunday. Part of that coming on a few kind of fluky deep ball throws in a game where there was torrential rain for most of the second half. But if you're the Dolphins, I mean, you kind of have to go into game management mode, I think, with Matt Moore. I mean, this is a guy who, he hasn't started a game since 2012. But at the same time, he's still experienced. You're not throwing out like a Bryce Petty type of guy who's just kind of in over his head as evidence from snap one. So there's some hope, that at least like you're going to avoid turnovers. This isn't going to be just a complete disaster. But at the same time, you just got to wonder, like, can you even rely on anything down the field anymore? I think we're just going to see some extreme game management over these last 3 weeks as Miami, tries to hold on to some hope of sneaking in as a wild card.
But what about Jay Ajayi? Because we know what he's been able to do for this team, but in the second half we saw a lot of Damian Williams. So should fantasy owners have any concern about Jay Ajayi?
I don't think so. The Damian Williams usage was a little bit curious just because, this workload has pretty much just been all Jay Ajayi since Arian Foster went down. But still, I mean, Ajayi carried the ball 20 times in that game. Just really wasn't able to get much going. Like I said, it was a kind of a slop fest. The field was soaked, and I think that certainly affected, how effective Jay Ajayi was able to be. So I really wouldn't worry too much about it. He gets the Jets in Week 15. One of the better front fours in the NFL, but this is a team that really doesn't have much to play for at this point. And Ajayi did go for 111 yards and had 3 catches against the Jets in their previous matchup. So I think there's quite a bit to like this week.